All right.
I don't know if that's just this country.
There you are. Now go ahead.
So, that's not with the pawn shop, is it?
Yeah.
You can get a pawn shop phone?
Yeah.
I want a pawn shop phone.
Oh, I thought you said you wanted me to record the story.
I want G unit on there.
Huh?
I want one that says G unit.
Oh, no. You said, no, this is just to record you. This is my phone.
Okay, this is you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Go ahead.
But make sure, you promise you're not going to do me wrong and show a bunch of the wrong people?
No, I got you. Go ahead.
So, before this country was founded, Nostradamus predicted me.
Okay. You predicted you.
I'm looking to your camera, right?
Yeah, go
My
ahead.
name's William Brandon Porter. Warner Brother Productions, I'd have to say. Hello. I'm from Plano, Texas. I'm Chickasaw, Indian, Irish, English, maybe some other types of white. Mainly Irish, English, maybe English, from what I found out. Yes, I made some Meads, a bunch of stuff. Meads, Porters, Wilsons, a bunch of outskirts. Yeah,
Okay.
That's just what it landed as. So, and the last thing I'd say, Mead, Walter Bradford Mead, and Charles Ray Mead. Charles Ray died digging ditches. I don't with my tribe, and I think, in my belief, I haven't done research exactly.
Okay.
That all the treasures and all the other people that visited came in around from around my tribe and made deals with every other tribe.
Okay.
To come in, besides Spain didn't make it below probably where my tribe was, or right ahead below, and they probably would have accepted too, but I think it would have been a change of World War II, and a change for Philippines, Japan, and World War II, because of a picture I have and a guy I went with when God said, "You're not creator in the earth." So let me tell you more about the story to fill in that.
Okay.
So I have to start with my dad's side. That's mainly where most of the friction came from, because my family accepted with love white people.
Okay.
After, yes, and it was about love. My grandma married someone after her dad died. She moved away when she was 3 from the res, and she lived in Bryan.
Okay.
A house, I forget what number. I looked up their native Bureau Affairs.
Okay.
Oklahoma, and you have to research to see where they actually come from.
Okay.
How long is this going to record for?
As long as you want.
As long as I want?
Actually, it's about 15 minutes.
15 minutes? I can do it then. So my dad was raised off of Gaston Avenue, and right after the Kennedy assassination, he was ran into. Right around then, he was. They just had moved to Avenue K before that, and they lived there in a house that I think we still have in the family.
Okay.
And it's a poor neighborhood, so I think everyone looked and saw who he's related to and who they're all related to, which was Jimmy Dean.
The sausage guy?
Huh?
The one who created the sausage? Like Jimmy
Yep,
Dean sausage?
Jimmy
Okay.
Dean sausage. I think they own Tyson Foods and some other stuff.
Okay. I'll just getting clarification. Go ahead. Continue.
But then you have I'd say then you have they were related, but my dad never really got along with Jimmy Dean. But some of his relatives, like my dad had a pond in the backyard and stuff. My great great grandpa Dean put it there.
Okay.
Because the other grandpa said he scared off all the fish.
Okay.
So, anyways, besides that story, there's a lot of feelings throughout the story, but I was dating adopted Kenny when I was putting the will, and my dad had found, when 9/11 happened, I just found out trained Osama bin Laden. And
really?
My dad knew David Kress from Garland, and Oklahoma City bombing happened while I was in Oklahoma, but they couldn't horizontally get us from Oklahoma to Arizona, that gold platinum mine, to probably do a money laundering exchange of some type, make money for the government as a deal too. So they went after David Kress, in my opinion.
Okay.
And my dad knew him from Garland, stood up for him, and had caskets, the guns delivered
Okay.
to his door every day.
Okay.
So they worked in with ATF, FBI for assault charge, tried to scam him, even though he had a job at legendary Lone Star Guns. And they pushed my dad over here, and his brother was already over here. So you know it's already set up with a lawyer, legal system with him. And they get my dad over here to do this and working in like they wanted him back. And I guess it stole down the ladder, which people worked out deals and World Trade probably took advantage. 1962, never notified about wills. What I hear in my head. Now, when my dad found the gold and platinum mine in Arizona, and he found Spanish gold doubloons from Spain.
Okay.
And he promised that when I was putting the will, it was unchangeable. $250,000 life insurance policy he had on himself. He said that I was going to inherit the 1555 gold doubloons, and that he had so many thousands of them put away from me. He even found 5,000 in one trunk on one trip, and they went there all the time and found them. And a Spanish preacher's gold chain, diamonds, rubies, and emeralds.
Okay.
And all I know is, my tribe is in Oklahoma, and they did Oklahoma State Bond. I don't know what it tied into, what they could have used, but I know Klan. My dad was taken in by somebody in South Texas in Houston as a kid, or they were trying to get the Jimmy Deans.
Okay.
You know, there's something of that.
You said that Nostradamus predicted you?
Yes.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. They opened a school by the Mormon Church. Bill Clinton invested in the Holy Grail when I was born, closed it when I got out. Either that or it's right on my mom's stomach.
Okay.
Eastern Indian with gold doubloons, if you can't tell
Okay.
by the appearance.
Okay.
That holy.
Continue.
And it's the Mormon Church. Ensenada is very cool. I would take the job too myself. I want to say, by the way. And also, they closed the school, and then they made me an ACES witness. Even people in my neighborhood work for Mormon Church, so I've talked to the government. Same with a lady that's part Spanish, has a restraining order too. But I talked over there trying to take power of attorney. So the government worked deals. The federal recognized my tribe, pushed me off from JFCS on the SMI, and you can't sign out 30 times. But anyways, back to the story. When I was put in the will, 9/11 happened. I was dating Dr. Kenny, Marilyn Monroe's on the left arm of an Irish girl. Yep. One's named Michaela Kennedy, and then the other one's Natalie Thornton. But during Barack Obama's term that was raised to be in office, Marilyn Monroe went on that Irish girl, Natalie Thornton's left arm. And they might even change it up. Because I saw her at Jack in the Box, and she sat right there across from her dad. And I was standing next to him coming from the register, and it was on her left arm. Which means I'm not, but I like Marilyn Monroe in a way. It has a different mold. Like am and ain't. Like dated me, but not her. But am. Like I'm hot. Because that's way up here. She is hot. But yeah, that's where it went during the friction. But they made me a witness when Louisiana while war in Afghanistan's going on. And I wrote a girl there, Courtney McEwen. And there seems to be a whole lot of them now. And in Houma, Louisiana, I wrote her.
Okay.
When it flooded Louisiana while the war in Afghanistan's going on. And all this other stuff, my dad's passed statute of limitations. Well, he worked in Fountain Hills, Sun City for Schwansheim Foods. Through the statute of limitations, they ended up getting him a job over here. And that's Jar Pyle's favorites. Sent me an aces witness, so I set up an operation to draw in the Klan's pocket. They even paid Jewish reparations from Brother Hoynsell Castle. Ties in with him using us through World Trade our whole life. They're drawing through other castles, families. And yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I've never got to meet him. Because it flowed Louisiana, right? And maybe Deuce Witness, Ace Marion Brotherhood.
Okay.
And it was on a whiskey. What was his nickname?
Whiskey? Okay.
Yes, and it was all made up. I've even heard people talking about the made ups operation, coming up with the idea, keep going in favor. Even God not cratering me over this trying side. So It's like every which way, everything. That's how wrong this is.
You said you just
My whole life, that's how much money it's always been.
You said you just tried to call your family and the government answered?
Yeah, I just tried to call my family and it was like the government answered.
Okay.
And I said something and the government acted like, Florida, Louisiana, Taiwan, South Texas during that war. And I told someone about peace in Siberia and war Siberia is happening right now, right after that meteor passed Earth. And I own the whole country around the time the meteor passed Earth, reparations from God.
Okay.
And that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I was globally left in wills during the war in Afghanistan, even probably during King assassination, and I'm in my dad's unchangeable will. But when he worked for Schweinstein's Foods, he had grandma seizures.
Go ahead.
He had grandma seizures, and with yes, it's from lesions of the brain, and they dropped his $250,000 life insurance policy, and he said he left me with his gold balloons, stock money, a bunch of stuff, and they, like, even the neighbors said, you never know what he's worth. His dad's worth quite a bit.
No,
I get what they mean now, because we've never been notified about wills since 1962, especially people splitting up stuff during the war in Afghanistan, even by protection on my phone out of Afghanistan, stuff like that. And I left here with a guy from Spain. It's Filipino Spanish, and there's a Japanese crystal buoy in the picture. I think Japan, Philippines in World War II, where the burial grounds, there's burial grounds for World War II, or bomb testing in South Padre, where they're found in Port Isabel area you go to get there. I figure if Spain would have arrived right below my tribe or wherever else, I would have to say that Philippines, Japan's probably wouldn't have happened. And Nostradamus predicted me right before in the 1500s. And it's about the laws of court, me almost being fully white, putting deuce witness in my name, always having a plan, and opening that school, Bill Clinton, Best Holy Grail, all that stuff. Yep, even with North Vegas, all that stuff my whole life. They've always done this. Every will always embezzled or claim in every country. Just about the whole thing. I'd say the whole thing, especially with them in my dad's name. My dad probably made a will before that for all of us. And then I'd say he left me in his unchangeable will. So, I don't know, right after the Jewish reparations paid, JSTS pushed me off on the SMI, right? So SMI out here, I'm sorry that I'm not very good at choreographing time and date. Like, if I was on a documentary and had this down, what to say at what period of time, it'd be way better to go through it with somebody. I'm very sorry for that, but they pay Mexico reparations and Canada draws off me. Supposedly there's like 7 trillion. Supposedly there's like 7 trillion in one account that draws off me. That should be around 20 by now through the government. And they hand out hundreds of millions sometimes through helicopter lawsuits to see if I'm dirty or not. Even if I'm not dirty, they hand them out. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. No one's told me. They say just because there's no filter if I did use. Yep. And yep. Hold on. And they pay Mexico reparations trying to push me out to Canada so Deuce could fucking tear down the place they had next door. I figured out that's what that was. B5012. And then they want to use Chicano to try and drain my relatives probably to El Paso. I figured out all their plans. And yeah, because they get Jimmy Dean, one of their relatives, and they hit a pinpoint with him that ties in with a bunch of stuff, which is the higher end of that family. And then they drain off of your relatives on the other side. So, I don't know. Once they got shit on you, that's all it is. Even they're doing it to step family of mine in Atlanta, so I can't hear it. And then they
I'm
call
putting
this
a brief hold, okay?
what I'm doing illegitimate. Even when I think they're
Oh,
still
okay.
doing
I
it.
do apologize for that. I do
There you
not
got
know who
station.
you're
Or
speaking with. I'm
means
just
they're
trying
gonna
to
do
log
it
in my
regardless.
system. My system's not logged in.
There you go. See?
One moment.
And all that the government has to do is catch them video. Oh, that's not free and dirty. And hold people up everywhere. You know, like anything gonna change. Like, you know, you can't do whatever the fuck you want. See? Anyways, while people say it's legitimate to file a lawsuit. And I found out this has been happening. I heard something in my head. Someone underneath ground like 14 years ago. And they've used a whole bunch of people that was like, I don't know if they were or not, but I heard it in my head when I first started hearing it. Not 14, it was an 09. Amplification of the body, break down the body through right hand, left hand, and stealing pressure. I found out recently what that means. Then also, and then I started hearing that I was letting wheels in my head, and I heard a helicopter flying over and started talking out loud. And then they flew it back over. They flew it back over. But I'm very sorry to being a pastor and for everybody's families this has happened to. I owe a lot of families. I just wish I had a handwritten will to get the money to a lot of right people, even if I could go to Siberia and help those people after the war. Be awesome.
Are you the one at 3710 out or PO Box?
It's hard to help anyone unless I can help myself. The watch patterns usually take inch, make them and to make sure I have nothing pre-sabotaged side people. I swear
they were
see.
doing the third. Yeah, they were doing the third. And then if you want to pick them up, one to renew them both, that'll be $65.80. Or to pick them up, it'll be $125.80. Already.
Anyway, Eastern Gold Blooms. Winter clips, all world church found. Pretty sure that was worth it. In a domesticated area where you got so messed up, you can be honest. And theme camp over Utah, Texas, Arizona, borderline friction, bunched up. There's so many pinpoints to the story, it's ridiculous.
Do you want to tell them about the phone call right now? That you tried calling your family? Do you want to tell them about that?
I tell them about all this?
Yeah, you want to tell them about that.
Would I like to?
I'm saying, yeah.
They're really my family, not Jehovah.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's all. I wouldn't really ask you for much for this.
Alright, yeah, because time is about to be done. So I just, you want to say bye?
Hold on one sec. Let me see on your side. What does a picture look like?
Yeah, it's your face.
Let me see on your side.
See that?
Okay, let me get one more minute.
Okay. Go ahead.
But I think my dad had grandma seizures also. I'm sorry. I didn't fill you in. And when they dropped his life insurance policy, they dropped his life insurance policy. I think it's from pressure of stealing across statute of limitations, and they lied and covered up and made look like some of the stuff they can't even take it back and cut pays action classes for people. I just can't believe I got done like this when all I am is somebody got not credit or because of everyone else's shit. And it wasn't just for me. Everyone saw us in heaven. It went through in court in heaven when I left here. And I even cried when I heard it, but I didn't believe it when I said the minute it stood before me. I haven't seen one of them since the schooling I went to when I was 15. When they got me out here, my dad's past statute of limitations, put me at school open when I was born, closed out, any inside pay for. I have to say, I don't know. I just didn't think that he would take me back or like even help me, because it's always been pretty selfish, but he's always been there for my mama. I can say that. I can say that. Always been there and always worked. yeah, I don't know. He doesn't think of the big things in life, and he's not there for me like he should be.
Yeah.
So, I didn't think he would help me. I think I was supposed to go there. I don't know, or just stay within this county. It would make more sense because then it would be liability on their hands within this county.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before it's done?
Huh?
Anything you want to finish up before it's done?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Make sure you keep that, but someone probably try and erase it.